here's our next example. Now we have 3 consecutive odd integers such that 3 times the third is 2 more than 3 times, or than 5 times the first. Okay, so now you're going to have 3 consecutive odd integers. So our first variable, x, is the smallest integer. The next consecutive odd integer is going to be x plus 2. And then the third, or the largest odd integer, is going to be x plus 4. Then I need to take those and translate these phrases into the numeric equations. 3 times the third is 2 more than 5 times the first. Okay, now here's my equal sign is, right? Okay, now on this left side of the equal sign, I have 3 times the third. Okay, my third consecutive odd integer was x plus 4. 3 times that, that's going to be 3 times the third. Okay, 3 times this is, or equals, okay, 2 more than 5 times the first. So 2 more, 2 plus 2, then 5 times the first. That's going to be 5x. So now I just solve or simplify my equation and solve for x. So here I have 3x plus 12 equals 5x plus 2. I'm going to bring my x's over to this side of the equation. And I have 5x minus 3x is equal to 2x. Now I can bring my 2 over to this other side of the equation. And I have 12 minus 2 and that's equal to 10, and that's equal 2x. And then I'm going to solve for x by dividing by 2, and then x equals 5. Then my second consecutive odd integer is x plus 2, which is 7. Okay, 5 plus 2 gives me 7. And then my third odd integer is 5 plus 4, and that's going to give me 9. All right, now we have some word problems next with some real life situations here. If a ship is traveling at 20 knots, nautical miles per hour, how long will it take to travel 55 miles or nautical miles? So first we have to define the variable. And also we have to know that our distance formula states the rate times the time is equal to the distance. Okay, in our equation here, we're given 20 knots. That's the rate, okay? Nautical miles per hour. That's the rate, okay? And then they want to travel 55 nautical miles. That's the distance, okay? And our question asks, how long will it take? So the time, that's what we're trying to find. So actually, there you have your equation. 20t equals 55. And then all I have to do is just solve for t by dividing by 20. And when you divide this out, you get the time is equal to 2.75. And we're talking about hours, right? So you have to label your answer 2.75 hours. Okay, now what is the speed of the wind if a plane capable of flying 400 miles per hour takes 3 hours to travel 1,050 miles into a headwind? So again, what is our distance formula? You'll need to know that. Distance equals rate times time. But now we also have the headwind. So our rate is going to be rate minus the wind times the time equals our distance. And then all you have to do is just plug in our information here, and we're trying to find the speed of the wind. So we have the rate is 400 miles per hour. That's 400 right here for the rate. It takes 3 hours, so our time is 3. And the distance traveled is 1,050 miles. And then all we have to do is just solve for the W, the wind. And we simplify our equation. 3 times 400 is 1,200. 3 times W, we have minus 3W, and then equals 1,050. And we're going to move the 1,200 over to the other side. We have negative 3W now is equal to negative 150. And then our wind, when we divide by negative 3, the wind, the speed of the wind is going to be 50 miles per hour. And that's our final answer. All right, next example here. Luke and Andrew paddled their canoe 22 miles down the river in 4 hours. If the river's current averages 1.5 miles per hour, what is their average rate in still water? Okay, so now we have the rate plus the current. Okay, that's the current is the speed of the river. And then so we have to add the river's current and the paddling, their rate of speed for the paddling, plus the river's current. That's going to give us the total rate. And then we have the time and the distance. So we take our information from the problem, how much the time averages 1.5 miles per hour. That's the current, the river's current is 1.5 miles per hour. So that's how we plug that into C. The time, how long did it take them to paddle down the river? That's 4 hours right here. Okay, what was the distance they paddled? They paddled 22 miles, so that's going to be here. Now all we have to do is simplify this equation and solve for the rate, because it says what is their average rate in still water. That means how long, or what is their rate that they paddle in their canoe if there is no current. So we have to simplify this. 4 times R, and then 4 times 1.5 gives us 6 equals 22. We're going to subtract 6 to move it over to the other side of the equation, and 4R is equal to 16. In order to solve for R, divide by 4, and we get the rate is 4 miles per hour. And that's the rate that Luke and Andrew are paddling their canoe. All right, now here's your homework. Okay, we're going to start off with the easy section first, numbers 1 through 14, all of those, and then you will hopefully get some good practice with those, and then we can continue with the second part of these word problems tomorrow. Thank you.